Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of the Mother May I podcast. I'm your host, Whitney, and today we got another bomb ass episode. I say that every week because I mean it. I really mean that. Like every week I get on here and I really put effort into making sure that I'm bringing you guys some good content that definitely talks about the topics around becoming and being better through motherhood. If that's something you're interested in, you definitely want to stay locked in because we talk about these topics each and every week. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast and even hop over to our free community, the Motherhood Circle on Facebook, where we talk more about these topics. And I also share tips, motivation, and hacks that can support you through motherhood. I just want to say first and foremost, before I get into this episode, that the first thing I thought about when I created this episode was Elsa. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all because I'm just like, when Elsa came out with Let It Go, I feel like it just changed the game for all the kids and all the moms across the world. So this one is for us, not just because of the topic, but also because if you know, you know, okay? If you know, you know, all right? All right, so listen. All right, enough of that. Listen, this episode, y'all, I feel like this episode meant so much to me, and I literally have recorded it like 3 times. I'm not recording no more, so this time mess up, y'all just gonna hear how it come out. But like this episode, it meant so much to me, and I rewrote stuff, re-recorded stuff over and over again because I was like, no, I want to add this. No, I want to take this out. Oh, I forgot to say this, because the topic of letting go is so broad. I think I want to break it down into parts. So we're going to do part 1 today, and then maybe we'll do another part of letting go later on in the podcast. But this topic pertains to ourselves, how to let go and how to do it in a way that supports ourselves, not how to support our kids, not how to support our man, not how to support our homegirls, not how to support our friends or our family or our job. No, us. This one is for us. The reason why I wanted to talk about this topic is because I feel like a lot of times we make the topic of letting go so scary because we think about it as something that'll never, ever return. Think about something small, it's like your hair, right? I can remember like when I used to get relaxers in my hair, right? And my hair used to grow, and then my hairdresser would be like, oh, girl, it's time to cut them split ends. And I'd be like, oh, girl, you ain't cut my split ends, especially if my head done grown to the point where I wanted to be. And I'm finally like, oh, it's popping. It's doing like it's supposed to do. And she like, girl, you got to cut these split ends. And you know, like, I wanted my length. But in the end, what she explained to me is that the more and more you hang on to this dead hair, the more and more it's going to strip up the shaft of the hair. And then you're eventually going to get a bob anyway because your hair going to be so broke off. And I didn't realize that hanging on to all this dead weight was not even supporting me in my goal in the first place. It's not even helping my hair to retain the length. It's just looking cute temporary. So my thing is this: we apply those same type of things to life in general. A lot of times we know what we want. We know what it looks like to have what we want. We can see it clear as day in our eyes. But it's that little pinch of what if, that little bit of fear that always kind of lingers in, and it kind of just hangs around over and over and over again, and to the point we don't do anything. But the problem is, if we go back to the hair example, if you go to your hairdresser and just get your ends clipped, you don't even have to worry about the idea of even having to cut it up to a bob because you're taking care of the situation ahead of time. Yeah, you may be fearful of what you may look like with a couple inches cut off now, but what will happen if you don't cut these 2 inches off now? What will happen 3, 4, 5, 6 months from now if you don't ever take care of the situation now and you know how you want your hair to look eventually? It's the same type of situation. Your next step or letting go does not mean that you aren't fearful while you're letting go. You may be worried. You may be fearful while you're letting go, but that does not mean that something great is not on the other side of letting that thing go. You much rather your hair be long and popping if that's what you're going for, rather than be stripped of it because you didn't maintain and do the work to maintain it in the first place. Doing something that you know you want to achieve or something that you want to work towards or seeing that new version of yourself does not mean that the idea of fear is just going to go away or it's going to be absent. That doesn't mean it's going to be absent at all. That just means that in spite of that fear or that what if, you're still going to do the thing that feels good and makes you happy at the end of the day. And let me just say this. Me being the type of woman I am, like, I'm always tell y'all, like, I'm very, like, I don't care. I'm going to tell you what it is. Like, I haven't had an easy path. I haven't had an easy road. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I had the easiest of paths when it came to how I was raised. But at the end of the day, I was instilled values. I was instilled respect. And I was instilled a lot of things that helped me become the woman I am today. But I do believe that in spite of all those things that I've learned and developed over all of these years, there's still layers of the woman that I want to become. Meaning that the woman that I was when I was 7 is different. I mean, not even the woman, the little girl I was when I was 7 is totally different from the girl that I was when I was 13. The girl that I was when I was 13 is different from the woman that I was when I was 20. So it's like as we age and as we evolve and as we learn things, the older version of ourselves we no longer need anymore because we have evolved into a newer version of ourselves. And for some reason, we think that just because we become moms and adults that we are no longer going into different versions of ourselves. And we only focus in on the evolution of our children from going from toddlers to preschoolers to teenagers and to all into adulthood. We focus on their evolution, not realizing that we are also going through our evolution as well. And so as we are going through our own evolution, we have to learn to let go of the older version of ourselves, because a lot of times we hang on to her because we haven't taken the time out to pay attention to the woman that we have actually evolved and become. We don't even recognize it. We haven't even stopped and paid attention or taken note of all the work and all the things that we've done to become who we are. Like myself, myself, I'm telling y'all, like, you don't even realize how much you've worked your ass off to become the person you are until you sit back and realize how hard you worked your ass off to become the person that you are. Like, you really don't. And a lot of times that takes some type of self-reflection. And so I wrote these things down, but I want you guys to write these down because these are some of the things that I myself have done to help me kind of get clarity on what it is that I need to let go so that I can make sure that I'm in alignment with things that are for me. So here's some of the things. I want y'all to write these things down because I can't stress the importance more than knowing what you want. Because when you don't know what you want, you can't attract what you need. And so here's the three questions. There are actually 4, but the 4th one is a bonus. But write these 3 down if you don't do nothing else. So these are the 3 things that can help you determine who or what you need to let go of. Number 1, determine what you want. A lot of times we always striving for something, but we're not clear on what it would look like if we got what we want. What does it even look like? What does it look like for you to have what you want? Do you even know? If somebody asked you right now, all right, I'm going to give you what you want, and then you just had to blurt out and just tell them what it is that you want right now, would you be able to do it? So that's number 1. What do you want? Number 2 is why you want it. Why you want it? What is it going to do for you once you get it? Why you want it so bad? Identify that. And my thing is this. Don't let society tell you why you need something and why you don't need something. Because that's another thing. Don't let society, your friends, or anybody else to influence what you want, why you want it, or anything along those lines. Because nobody can tell you what you want and what you need more than you. Okay? Now on to number 3. Number 3. What do you need to do to get it? What do you need to do to get it? What steps do you need to take? What do you need to do? What resources do you need to do? What tools do you need to do? Who you need to speak with? What type of people do you need to hang around? What do you need to do to get it? Figure that out. And then once you do that, here's the bonus. Here's number 4. Who do I need to become to maintain it? I got to give y'all a snap because the church just said amen with that one. Who do I need to become to maintain it? Because a lot of times you may get everything you want. Like, say, for instance, you can see it a lot of times on these lottery shows. These people win all this money and stuff like that, and they happy and this and that. And then before you know it, they don't have nothing. All the money, everything is gone. everything. And a lot of times that stuff happens because these people were not able to become the people that they needed to be to maintain the things that they have. We see all these celebrities and we see all these people and all this industry stuff, right? But you have no idea what these people did to maintain or get what they have. All you see is what they have, but you don't know who they had to become, what type of discipline, what type of tools, what type of work, what type of consistency, what type of mindsets, what type of anything they had to put in to become the person that they are today. And so we have to think about that for ourselves. Who do I need to become to maintain the things that I say I want? Not who these celebrities and all these other people on social media and stuff say they want. Who do I need to become to get the things that I want from me? That's going to make me actually genuinely happy in my life. And once you determine those 4 things, I guarantee you will have more and more clarity on what direction you want to take. But I'm seriously, write that stuff down. Because a lot of times we view this whole process of letting go as something that's so negative. But honestly, yo, letting go can possibly be because time just took its course. Like, it don't even have to be negative. It could simply be because 2 people, 3 people, or a situation is no longer valid. Period. It don't even have to be a bad situation. It could just be time is up and it's time to move on. So don't think letting go is something that's, oh my God, it's because this person is fucked up and this person is this and this. Blah, blah, blah. It's not the blame game. Sometimes it's simply just evolution. And that's it. We don't have to blame anybody for anything. We can just accept it for what it is and move accordingly. You know what I'm saying? But we get so hung up on things and situations and people that don't even help us move forward, that we put ourselves in the same situation over and over and over again. We like to do what's easy. We like to do what's convenient. We like to do what's the simplest way because it feels so damn good. Like, let's be honest, it feels good to do that stuff, right? But we also have to think about what's on the other, what really boils down to our comfort zone. Us staying the same, things never changing, and possibly still staying in the same state of, damn, I wish things were different from me. However, if we were to commit to letting go of the things that no longer serve us, how would that help us in other areas of our life? Let's take our health, for example, right? Let's say you eating a big bag of Doritos and you notice that, oh, girl, my stomach's starting to get a little thick around the waistline. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be snatched for summer, but that waistline getting a little thick. I've been eating too many Doritos, too much snacks, too much chips, right? So when it comes to that, think about letting go. All right, cool. I can either do one of 3 things. Eat my Doritos in a different portion because I'm probably not going to start eating my Doritos. So I'll probably eat them in a smaller portion. Or I'm going to accept my new shape and walk around here like I'm a bad bitch and not give a fuck. Or 3, work on maintaining my weight loss. Work on figuring out what I can do to maintain or create some type of weight loss if I'm not happy with how I look. But honestly, you have to hold yourself accountable for what you say you want. Now, whatever you say you want, don't think that it has to be determined by any person and there's a right or wrong way. Because if you like to eat Doritos, then eat your Doritos. Just choose a different portion or figure out a different way to manage and maintain it. But if you like your Doritos and that makes you happy, then eat your Doritos. And I'm talking to myself because I love Doritos. Okay, this is me talking to me. Okay, listen, I'm telling y'all, if you like your Doritos, that's fine. Who said you got to go on a crazy ass diet and stop eating them? Either embrace your weight and say, hey, I'm a thick chick now and I'm doing my thing, I don't give a shit. Or you can just change your portion size, but you don't have to change you and what make you happy just because it looks different on the outside to somebody else. Fuck them people. And that's why I created my episode. If y'all go back, I have an episode where I talked about my own health journey towards vegan and how I made the decision to completely take meat out of my diet. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people think it's because of a fad and things like that. But a lot of times people do these things because of health reasons and other reasons along those lines. And I wanted to share that journey because I know there's other people who may be trying to figure out what works for them. And maybe those tips and resources and things that I shared in that episode can support you in that. So I do encourage you to go back to that episode. I believe it's episode 17 or 18. So you have to go back through the podcast. But make sure you subscribe, because a lot of these topics will definitely be kind of in alignment with each other. Because like I said, this is a journey through motherhood. And I think a lot of these things kind of build on each other. So if you missed something, be sure to go back, because there's definitely some gems there that can definitely support you in this episode too. But really, this episode is just an opportunity for you to really understand and start to determine what no longer fits the narrative of who you want to be. Ask yourself stuff like this: who you want to be known as, whether that's a big thing or small thing. Like, people think that, oh, you want to be known as has to be something huge and over the top. No, you can be known as the nice lady that smiles to everybody when you come into the restaurant, whatever. But who do you want to be known as? And how do you want to be remembered by the people around you? Like, how you want people to remember you? How do you want your kids to remember you? How do you want your family and friends and all the people around you, how you want them to remember you? What impact do you leave on the people around you? How do they feel when they're around you? How do you leave people feeling when they're around you and in your presence? Are you showing up as yourself no matter what, no matter where you are? Are you putting on a superficial image to please and make other people feel accepted around you? Or are you being yourself no matter what? Make time to set clear ideas about where you want to go. Make time to get clear on what you need so that you can let go and attract what you want. And that's what I want y'all to walk away with today. That's what I want y'all to walk away with today. So if you don't take nothing else, take that. Take that. All right, y'all. So that's this week's episode of the Mother May I podcast. Make sure you subscribe and tune in each and every week, because we do this every other Thursday. But in between weeks, make sure you check the previous week's episodes, because there's always some gems in between these episodes. I love y'all so much. I appreciate y'all so much for tuning in. Again, you can find me in the Motherhood Circle on Facebook, or you can find me on social media at The Real Whitney B. And I will see y'all next week for another episode of the Mother May I podcast.